Thank you for visiting P356 blog. My name is Sarah. My goal is to show who God is and that He is still at work in our lives today. It is never too late to be an influencer for Jesus. Check out this week's blog at p356blog.com. This week, I want to talk to you guys about perseverance. You see, my husband and I were on a hike this weekend. It's a hike that we've tried to do before, but I just couldn't handle it. I wasn't in as good of shape as I am right now, and it was also about 20 degrees hotter outside when we first attempted this hike. It's beautiful, but I just couldn't finish it. So this weekend, we decided to try the hike again. It was a lot cooler of a temperature out here in Arizona, and we decided to go for it. My husband's nothing but encouraging, even though it was tough. It was rocky, and sometimes you couldn't see where the end of the hike was going to be. It's kind of like life. It's rocky, it's tough. Sometimes you feel out of breath or like you just can't make it to the end of this trial that you're in, but there is an ending point, and that encouragement helps you get there along the way. So my husband encouraged me. We knew that it was 2.3 miles towards the top of this hike. We were tracking it and we got closer and closer and closer. And once we got there, it was so amazing. It was beautiful, but it was tough to get up there. And then we came back, the same trail, but with a new perspective. We knew what that route was going to be. We knew the twists and turns that it was going to take. We knew what to expect on the way down. It was still difficult. If you've ever hiked down a mountain, you know it can be kind of hard on your toes sometimes, and you have to approach it from a different way than you had before. And that kind of relates to life too. Sometimes you go through a trial and you get to the end of it and there's victory, but then sometimes you have to go back through that trial from a different perspective. Maybe that looks like someone else in your life is going through it and you have that finish line perspective of what it looks like to get you there. Sometimes it's going through the trial again, just something in your life that keeps repeating, but now you have that new perspective that you've made it through before. There's some encouragement in the Bible about this. So if you go to Romans 5, verses 3 through 5. Not only that, but we rejoice in our sufferings, knowing that suffering produces endurance, and endurance produces character, and character produces hope. And hope does not put us to shame because God's love has been poured into our hearts through the Holy Spirit who has been given to us. So when you have those moments and those trials that seem pretty rocky, pretty tough, kind of like you can't get through it, just know that that is producing endurance in you. That endurance is producing character, helping build you up into the person you are. You can probably look back on your life at a moment that was really, really tough, but you made it through. And that has helped shape who you are today and how you approach things in your life. This is mirrored in the book of James. In James chapter 1, verses 2 through 4. Count it all joy, my brothers, when you meet trials of various kinds. For you know that the testing of your faith produces steadfastness, and let steadfastness have its full effect, that you may be perfect and complete, lacking in nothing. Those trials that we face, we're going to have to get through them. But it tests your faith and it produces what's called steadfastness, or faithfulness, or endurance. And that steadfastness, continuing, will allow us to be perfect and complete in Jesus, lacking in nothing. So when you feel like you're on a really rocky path, you're not really sure which way you're supposed to take. Does the path go to the left or right? Seems like there's a big boulder in the way. Is there even a way around it? And then you get around it. And you keep going. And you see victory. And then you get to come back down knowing, I can approach this a little bit easier now. That's how we can approach life. Maybe you're in a trial right now. Maybe it's really, really difficult. And it's hard to read this verse that says, count it joy when you're in a trial. I can tell you though, when I was needing to stop on this hike, I was able to look around, take a few deep breaths, and see how beautiful the world around me is. Sometimes in a trial, the best thing you can do is look around. Not focus just on the trial you're in, but the things that are happening around you that are just so beautiful. You can see God working, maybe not in your immediate circumstance, but He'll get you to that victory, because that's just who God is. I hope that can be some encouragement to you this week if you're going through something that's really tough, that God is there, God is watching, and He's orchestrating every little detail so that you can have victory at the top of the mountain, that you can help others as they're going through it as well. Have a good week, everybody.